Hi, everybody. It's Amanda here. I'm real excited to talk to you guys today about this episode of the Ecology of Zero Waste called Wasted Food and Composting. I'm really very excited because you guys are already doing some of this. So this component of this educational program is really geared towards you guys and understand why you're working so hard to divert your food scraps. So this is what we're going to talk about, the wasted food, how much and where and why food is wasted. I really hope that you get that wasting food is a big deal. There are ways we can prevent it. And at the end of the day, we need to compost food scraps. So the USDA, that's the United States Department of Agriculture, estimates that between 30 and 40% of all the food that's produced in America is wasted. That's a really big deal. It's a big deal to our climate, to our environment, and to all of the resources that you've learned about that are so important in everything we do, and they're really important in the production of food. So food is wasted along the supply chain. So it's wasted in the farm where it's made, in processing, so in between the farm and the consumers. It's also wasted in restaurants or other consumer-facing businesses. And in our homes, day to day, we all waste a little bit of food. So if we know how much is wasted and we know where it's wasted, we're gaining this awareness and we'll be able to help be more a part of the solution if we know this stuff. So wasting food is a big deal, and there's two main reasons. And one is that we have a lot of food insecure people in the United States and around the world. And that means they don't get enough healthy food day to day to be able to function as well as they could. But yet we waste so much good edible food. So there's a bit of a disconnect there. So if we can connect people that need the food with the edible or excess food, then that would solve a big problem. So wasted food is another big deal because of climate change. So when you throw food away and it goes into a landfill, you're contributing to climate change, but we can all be part of the solution. So the reason that it contributes to climate change is that when you put organic material like food in a landfill, it creates methane. And you guys probably are aware that methane is a greenhouse gas that traps a lot of heat. So it plays a big role in the anthropogenic climate change. So why does food do that? So when food goes into a landfill, they basically cover it up. So there's no more oxygen. And when there's a lack of oxygen with organic material, it decomposes in a way that gives off methane. But there is a way around that. So we can all work collectively in sending less compostable organic material to the landfill. So think of anything that's compostable other than food. So yard debris, like leaves or grass, even paper products, they're compostable, but they should probably be recycled. We're going to learn about that in the next component. But just remember that food should not go to the landfill because it really plays a big role in climate change. But when you separate your food scraps like you guys are doing at lunch, and instead you get them to a system where they're composted, that's actually very beneficial to the earth and to the climate. The other big thing with wasting food is that it wastes resources. So when you think of the food you got today at lunch or you ate for breakfast, a lot went into that, getting that food to you. So it took a lot of land. We need land to grow food. It takes a lot of water, sunlight. It takes people power. It takes money. It takes energy. So when you waste that food, or that food gets wasted or thrown away into the landfill, you're also wasting all of the cumulative resources that are so important and precious to our earth and to all of us. So we want to try and prevent wasting food. But first, why is food wasted? Well, it can be wasted in the field. So farmers know that we as consumers like our food to look a certain way, be a certain color or size or shape. So the farmers might leave some of the food in the field just because it's misshapen or a little bit small. So those are really the cosmetic reasons. So have you ever saw a carrot that looked weird or a cucumber that was curvy and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not eating that. Well, chances are it tastes the same, it has the same nutrition in it, and it just grew a little weird. And to be honest, I think that the weird or ugly fruit and vegetables are kind of fun. There's also date label confusion. So have you ever seen a date on like yogurt or cheese or milk or something like that? It says sell by or best by, and it gives you a date like February 2022. Well, a lot of those labeling is just a recommendation. It's just when they think the food is best by. It doesn't necessarily mean the food is bad after that. You might get large portions in a restaurant, or you might kind of lose track of your food in the back of your fridge or the back of your pantry. This is all where food is wasted and why food is wasted. But again, if we become aware of all these things, maybe we can all collectively do a better job to prevent food from getting wasted. So here is actually a lot of good information about preventing wasted food. And to boil it down in a nutshell, it's planning and organizing. It's shopping, but shop based on what you actually need, not just what you want. Prepping food. So get those fruits and vegetables ready, and then they're ready to eat. So you don't lose them in the back of your fridge. And then storage. So knowing how to store food, knowing how to freeze food, freezing food is so beneficial. If you have a fruit or a vegetable that's about to go bad, like a zucchini, you can grate that zucchini, freeze it, and then use it later on down the road for lasagna, for example. So freezing food really puts a pause on it, and then you can use it later on. But after we've reduced the amount of food that's wasted, meaning you eat the ugly fruit, you eat everything that you think is about to go bad. So maybe your house has a leftovers night and you just eat all the leftovers in your fridge before they go bad. So you guys have already done that. You're going to think wisely about how to not waste food. But you always have food scraps. Those are the cores or the pits or the rind, stuff like that, the inedible parts of your food. We don't want those going to the landfill either. So there's different ways to compost your food scraps. And you can do it on your own, in your backyard, in your garage, or you can do it on a community level. So this is vermicomposting, and this is composting with worms. Did you know that worms will eat a lot of your food scraps? Now, they don't like everything, but they'll eat a lot. So this is a system where worms will eat your food scraps. And then basically their defecation or what they poop out is an amazing soil amendment. And you can use that to grow new food or just put it in your garden or your landscaping. Another thing to do with your food scraps is just compost in your backyard. So a simple system set up in your backyard, you put your fruits and your vegetable scraps in there, you add leaves to it, and it becomes a soil amendment. It's pretty neat, it's pretty efficient, it works really well, and it's a neat way to divert your fruit and vegetable scraps from the landfill. And then another way, this is really a much more efficient way to compost, is with a community composter. And you should recognize the green bucket in the middle of your screen. That's Beaten Path Compost. So that's who you guys are composting with at Resilience Charter School. So they're a local community compost that picks up food scraps from your school, other restaurants, and individuals throughout Gainesville. And they compost it at their site. So they take a lot of food scraps, they mix it with mulch or another vegetation type material. And then over many months, it becomes a soil amendment that then they sell. So landscapers use it and other people, small businesses in the community. And this is a really great system because not everybody wants to backyard compost. Not everybody wants to deal with it on their own, but they want to divert it from the landfill. So this really is a big deal. So for this lesson, I hope that you understand that reducing the food that you waste is a big deal. It's all of our responsibility to treat the earth very well and be respectful of our resources, the resource use, and try to conserve them. But at the end of the day, we always have food scraps and they should be composted. We should not send them to the landfill. So the goal for this lesson was really to understand why wasting food is a big deal and to begin to waste less food and compost the food scraps. And you guys should be really proud of yourselves that as a school, you are diverting the lunch food scraps from the landfill, and you guys are being part of the solution to climate change and making a big difference. So thank you for that. And next time we're going to learn how to recycle right. And that'll be a fun one because recycling is a big deal for zero waste as well. See you guys then.